And up next it is the big man. I've just seen Martin Bacoli. He's getting ready to hit the scales, as is big Kevin Johnson.
The heavyweights, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds in the heavyweight division. Making his way to the stage, 34-15-1, 18 big wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Asbury Park, New Jersey. He's the former IBO International Heavyweight Champion and former World Title Challenger, Kevin "Kingpin" Johnson.
He just said to me in my ear there, Darren, he just got the look of a battle-hardened veteran, as he now, Kevin Johnson.
Stage with his head trainer Billy Nelson, 13-1, 10 big wins by knockout. The former IBO Continental Heavyweight Champion, fighting out of Airdrie, Scotland, by way of the DRC, introducing Martin Bacoli. Now the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Kingpin Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, I just whispered in Chris's ear. Kevin Johnson looks tough. He looks hard.
He was 40 years of age in September, Darren. He's really been round the block. Took out Francesco Pianetta 2017, Alex Learpie in 2012. Never really got it done.
12, 18 stone, 4 pounds, 12 ounces for Kevin Kingpin Johnson.
Yeah, never quite got it done at the top level, though. He's taken some very big names the distance. Tyson Fury, it's Harley Klitschko.
Martin Bacoli.
And his opponent is this man, a very popular figure.
The most relaxed I've ever seen anyone on the scales, and in his pocket.
Probably the least distance he's ever had to travel. He's based in Airdrie in Scotland with Billy Nelson. He's normally having to take flights down. He's probably just a couple of hours in the car for Martin.
18 stone, 12 pounds, 10 ounces for Martin Bacoli.
He's a great guy, Martin Bacoli, never far away from a smile, a real gentleman of the sport. And listen, we know what Kevin Johnson is, how defensively minded he is. He's become really, over the last 4 or 5 years, the kind of staple gatekeeper at heavyweight. Yeah. And he's a very, very hard man to stop, given the way he kind of holds himself, almost that kind of Philly shell cage, makes him very hard to hit clean. He never sticks his chin out, very risk averse.
He has a real knack of taking the sting out shots as well.
Tonight here in Newcastle, England, live on Sky Sports and Dazn, all courtesy of Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing.
He's not getting any younger, and Martin Bacoli knows that if he does stop him, he joins that very, very exclusive club that includes Anthony Joshua's men, who have taken Johnson out inside the distance. He's got 8 rounds to try and get it done tomorrow night. I don't think he's going to do it, but I think he will come out victorious.
Yeah, but like we said, you know, the statement's very obvious. If he can make it, if he can stop Johnson, then look,
ladies and gentlemen, the action
it will turn some heads.
Right now, 10 rounds for the British light heavyweight title eliminator. Introducing the first of the stage, 16 wins, 2 defeats, 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Sandwell, introducing Ricky Digger Summers.
But a good fight with Frank Buglioni, put him on the map in 2017, had that injury which prevented him from rocking with Joshua Buatsi last year.
His former Team GB podium boxer, undefeated as a professional. 9 wins, no defeats, 1 knockout. Fighting out of North Shields here in Newcastle. Please welcome Lawrence Osueki.
I've been watching Lawrence for a long time in the amateurs.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Summers.
He's done things the hard way in the amateurs. Osueki was part of one of the early WSB teams with Cordina and some of the lads on GB. And Ricky Summers hasn't had it all his way either. Lost to Andre Sterling in February after putting him down early, but he's got that feel of a live contender.
12-5-14 for Summers, 12 stone, 5 pounds, 14 ounces for Ricky Summers.
And again, a guy that if you want to make it at domestic level in this light heavyweight division, you've got to beat well.
Charge from North Shields, Newcastle, Lawrence Osueki.
Well, he's been all over Europe as an amateur for England, boxed the likes of Peter Willenberg.
Osueki, 12 stone, 5 pounds, 10 ounces for Osueki.
Vladimir Shishkin did as I say, the very early days of the WSB for the Lionhearts. In those days, of course, the head guards were still on at the top level of amateur international, so that was a real transition point, doing the 5 rounders without head guards for these guys. So Osueki has been around the block for a long, long time, a name that won't be that familiar to many people who've been watching the pro game, but he's built himself quietly but assuredly to a good, solid record in the pros, 9 unbeaten so far. and he has really earned his right to say, I want to be in the mix for that British light heavyweight title. Lots of good guys in the mix. Richard's the front runner, but likes of Shakan Pitters, Stephen Ward, Liam Conroy, Bob Adjasaf, Jose Burton, all in that MTK Golden contract in December.
Osawecki and Summers, 10 rounds for the British light heavyweight title eliminator, Saturday night here in Newcastle, England, live on Sky Sports and Dazn.
And whilst Joshua Buatsi, Darren, is probably head and shoulders above a lot of the guys I've just mentioned, it is really a pick-em between any of these guys as to who can take that belt for the British light heavyweight title. Yeah,
do you know what? I think that's going to be a cracker. Both lads there look in tremendous shape. And yeah, do you know what? I think that could simmer under the radar there and could be a real cracker. This is the one I'm looking forward to, though. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Super middleweight division. Please welcome to the stage a 24-fight veteran hailing from St. Joseph, Missouri, USA. Introducing Ashley Curry.
As you heard, they're Ash Curry from St. Joseph, Missouri. Was this the one?
No, sorry. I thought it was Cheeseman and Fitzgerald at the stage.
Olympian.
No one will look forward to this.
Professional record 7-0, 5 knockouts, fighting out of Hartland Pool. Please welcome Savannah, the silent assassin, Marshall. Now the scales, ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Curry.
She made the journey over from the United States, 4 wins, 2 draws in her last 10. She was due to fight Alicia Napoleon in 2016. That fell through shortly before. So Marshall arguably...
12-3-2 for Ashley Curry, 12 stone, 2 pounds and 3 ounces.
Arguably the best that she will have been in with.
12-3-2, 12 stone, 3 pounds, 2 ounces. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated, the silent assassin from Hartlepool, Savannah Marshall.
First British female to win the Amateur World Champs 2012.
11-11-14 for Savannah Marshall. 11 stone, 11 pounds, 14 ounces for Savannah Marshall.
Added the Commonwealth gold in 2014. Another world medal in Astana 2016. Signed with Floyd Mayweather, of all people, after the Rio Games. Debuted on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard.
No biggie.
In Vegas. I mean, that's something, isn't it? We talked about
what an experience.
Just amazing. We talked about April Hunter debuting in Newcastle, her home city, on a Matchroom show, but that's a different level.
Do you know what? I know a lot of people see it as a farce, etc., but so many people wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Imagine being on the bill. I mean, how cool is that? And a great experience. And do you know what? Someone I'm touting to go all the way. No doubt, Savannah Marshall will win a world title.
When you look at the list of women who've got the titles: Franchon Cruz Dazn, the WBC, Eileen Cederroos from Sweden, and Ima Kozin from Russia. I would say you stick her in with any of those now, and it's competitive. Give her another 6 months to a year, and I think she actually could beat them all. And you could be looking at a very, very special talent. She's working with Peter Fury these days.
Savannah Marshall, Ashley Curry, 10 rounds, super middleweight, Saturday night here in Newcastle, England.
She's just lovely as well, isn't she? No ego, doesn't give it a big, and just goes about her work in such a nice, mild, calm manner. Big fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe, Darren, we might now be on to the big two. I think that's all of them done. And I say I might because, of course, poor old John Doherty got forgotten yesterday at the press conference. And there's so many on this bill, 12 on the card. It will all start around about 4 o'clock. So if you're heading to Newcastle Arena, get there nice and early. If you've got friends or anyone that's boxing on the bill. As I said, the Facebook fight, Kieran Conway and Conrad Stemkowski, starts at 6 o'clock on Facebook Live, Matchroom Boxing and Sky Sports. We will be in the arena round about 1 o'clock tomorrow.
1 o'clock, I think,
And we have got Callum Johnson on the card. We have got Michael Jennings to talk about him kind of relinking up full time with Scott Fitzgerald. We'll have Frank Smith to talk about Saudi as well.
The weigh-in continues. We got a 4 to 6 round welterweight attraction.
Of course.
Introducing first to the stage, 16-5-1 with 14 big wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former Ghanaian super lightweight champion and the reigning West African Boxing Union welterweight champion, fighting out of Accra, Ghana. Please welcome Justice Quick Action Addy.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I said that. Because Eddie's mucked around with the order because he wants to get some of these guys higher up the bill. And I was looking, thinking, I'm sure there's somebody we've missed. Well, it happened yesterday, it's happened today.
His opponent right now making his way to the stage with his head trainer, Graham Rutherford. Professional record, a perfect one. 7 fights, 7 victories, 4 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Benwell, Newcastle, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Benwell Bomber Laws.
Well, the radio arena will host his 3rd fight, beat Chris Truman by TKO this time last year. Justice Addy recently boxed for the Ghanaian welterweight title. That's on Azuma Nelson Promotions, of all things. Wow. The best fighter ever to come out of Africa, and if you haven't watched the Jeff Bennett fights.
2 for Justice Addy, 10 stone, 5 pounds, 2 ounces for quick action.
And the one thing we always know about the Ghanaians, they are teak tough. Teak tough. Sorry.
And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the Benwell Bomber, the undefeated Joe Laws.
Joe Laws or Rey Mysterio, you decide. He's a real character. Sold over 1,000 tickets for Saturday night, and as a result, he will be pushed right high up the bill. Had that kind of Twitter spat with Devin Haney earlier this week. So
10-7-14 for Joe Laws. 10-7-14.
Conflicting sparring reports coming from both camps. I never quite thought I'd see Devin Haney and Joseph Laws from Newcastle having a war of words on Twitter, but 2019, mate, anything is possible.
I'll tell you what I will say is I see David Diamante's face turn into the heart eye emoji when he sees Joe Laws' cigar. I think he's just become his favourite fighter.
Justice Addy will be bringing it. As I say, he's been active this year, boxed for that Ghanaian welterweight title earlier on this year. Didn't win it, but well, he's in good nick. He's got a decent record as well. This will be a little step up for Joseph Laws, and well, he's a big challenger.
Very tall indeed. So straight away, oh wow, look.
Well, listen, the one thing you say about Joseph Laws, he understands.
Welterweights, Saturday night here in Newcastle.
He understands exactly how to sell a fight, the master of self-promotion.
I think he could bang that venue out on his own already. His coach there is just having a word with him, telling him to calm down behind us.
Yeah, Justice Addy 16-5-1, Joe Laws 7-0. Just got a glimpse of Scott Fitzgerald, and he's ready to step on the scales. He's looking in really good.
Are you sure?
Well,
are you sure?
I hope so. I do hope so, because we know what happened last time. It was really touch and go as to whether he was going to make the weight, and a lot of people were speculating as a result that we might see a flat performance.
He looks well, straight to back in there. He looks well, mate, doesn't he? They both do. They both do.
Cheeseman,
just right behind him. You see
can
Ted
just
there.
see on your screen there, which we can see Ted Cheeseman and behind Darren. They're looking phenomenal in shape.
The chief support of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the British Super Welterweight Championship. Introducing up first to the stage to face the scale and to face his opponent, please welcome the challenger. He's with his head trainer, Mike Jennings. As an amateur, he's a former Team GB member, 2013 ABA champion, and 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist. Now, as a professional, his record stands perfect. 13 fights, 13 victories, 9 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Preston, here is the reigning and undefeated WBA International Super Welterweight Champion, Madman Fitzy, Scott Fitzgerald. And his opponent now making his way to the stage with his head trainer, Tony Sims. his amateur career: 3-time junior ABA champ, 2-time GB champ, and NAYCP champion. Now, as a professional, 15 1-1, 9 knockouts, fighting out of Bermondsey. Please welcome the former English and WBA international champion and the reigning and defending British super welterweight champion, the Bermondsey banger, Ted the Big Cheeseman.
Well, far from an easy year for Ted Cheeseman.
Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Fitzgerald.
But for Scott Fitzgerald, it was his coming out party against Anthony Fowler. I can still remember, Darren, him and Anthony Fowler sat side by side with big smiles on their face, having come home as Commonwealth champions in 2 separate weights, and who would have known the rivalry?
10-13-2 for Scott Fitzgerald, the challenger, 10 stone, 13 pounds, 2 ounces.
And he's obviously learned from those mistakes. Remember Michael Jennings?
And now the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning and defending British super welterweight champion, the Bermondsey banger, Ted the Big Cheeseman.
Those nutritional problems that he had with Michael Jennings is now living with him, and Michael's got an eye on everything he's eating and what he's not eating, and as a result he's made the weight looking much fuller than he did against Anthony Fowler. We haven't seen the madman, Darren.
No, not at all.
But perhaps we won't need to for him to put in that kind of performance. And I tell you what, Darren, of one thing, that will have given him a huge amount of confidence going into this. He can perform at that level.
Massive, because you know, in a grudge match like that, there's added pressure. You don't want to lose to a bitter rival, and he come through that he's won. So yeah, his head's up, his shoulders back, he's full of confidence. As is Ted Cheeseman. On the flip side, he's had 2 disappointing outings, the last 2 times out. So there's an element of pressure that's been taken away from him. No one's expecting him to do much, and I think both fighters look very relaxed there on the stage. They both look very confident. They look both in tremendous condition. So I expect this to be absolute fireworks.
And don't let the kind of niceties fool you, although the build-up's been in stark contrast to the Fowler-Fitzgerald build-up. These two really only know how to fight one way.
12 rounds for the British Super Welterweight Championship. The Chief supports Saturday night here in Newcastle.
And there's no way that this will go 12 rounds without some fireworks at some stage. A terrific fighting prospect, and well, talk about the perfect domestic chief support for a bill like this. That's about as good as it's going to get.
Oh wow! I mean, that's really got everyone talking about this show, hasn't it? I mean, the top of the bill is a tremendous fight, but that one backs up any show, in my opinion. That's a cracker, and you know, a real decent domestic dust up, you know, for the British title. Shows how prestigious it is. We sit on the stage there, and yeah, I expect that. Like you say, there may be stages where it quietens down, but I think for 90% of that fight, for however long it lasts, it's going to be absolute fireworks, like I say.
Is there a chance, Darren, we could see Ted Cheeseman try and box a little bit more intelligently and sit off, because he learnt a few lessons in that fight against Sergio Garcia, walking forward, unable to land the shots, and he said a couple of days ago at times he wished he'd just stepped off and tried to bring Garcia onto him. Any chance that Ted could break the mold?
Good afternoon and welcome to the Into Metro Center here in Newcastle, England.
We'll pick this up
for the official weigh-in for Saturday night's big night of boxing action taking place at the Utilita Center here in Newcastle. Live on Sky Sports and Dazn, and it's all brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by William Hill, StubHub, and JD Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBA Super Lightweight World Title Eliminator. Introducing up first to the stage, he's the former British lightweight and WBA Intercontinental Super Lightweight Champion, fighting out of Forest Hall, Newcastle, ranked number 9 in the world by the WBA. Please welcome the Sandman, Ritson. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, 19-1, 13 knockouts, fighting out of Liverpool, England, and representing a fine family fighting tradition. He's the former British, Commonwealth, and European champion, ranked number 7 in the world by the WBA, Robbie Davies Jr. Now to the scales, ladies and gentlemen, Ritson.
Well, he decided to move up to super lightweight after that defeat to Francesco Patera. There was so much buzz and hype around him. Blitzed through all comers at domestic level, Darren, and then just came unstuck.
9-13-10 for Lewis Ritson. 9 stone, 13 pounds, 10 ounces for the Sandman.
But his fan base, as you can hear, hasn't dwindled one single bit. I bet
And
there were
now the
points when he
scales,
lost that
ladies and
fight,
gentlemen,
he wondered whether
fighting
he'd
out
be
of
back on the big
Liverpool,
stage.
Robbie Davies Jr.
And a muted reception for Robbie Davies Jr. It's been a vitriolic build-up between these two. All started on social media. They fought on the same card a few months ago, and there was some backstage tussling, but a war of words.
9-13-8
It was
for
captured
Robbie
on camera.
Davies Jr. 9 stone, 13 pounds, and 8 ounces for Robbie Davies Jr.
You can see Robbie Davies Jr. is just slightly bigger. You know, I can just see him a little bit more muscular. There's not much in it, a little bit taller. But it's going to be a crack at it. I was struggling to pick a winner here. Can I ask you the question? Who do you fancy, mate?
I fancy you, mate. You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing like a bit of a joke to get out of a sitting on the fence.
Teed you up there, didn't I? Got out of it nicely. So not much in it at all, but
Actually not. Actually, if anything, you'd say Ritson's shoulders a little bit higher. Maybe, as you say, natural at this weight.
Robbie Davies Jr., Lewis Ritson,
Not a
12
huge
rounds
puncher,
for the
Davies Jr.
WBA Super Lightweight World Title Eliminator. Saturday night here in Newcastle, England, courtesy of Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, live on Sky Sports and Dazn.
Listen, you know, Darren, that Davies Jr. will know that Ritson's best chance in this is early. He's going to be dangerous early. I think you'll see Davies boxing intelligently early as a result. Ritson will do what he does best, try and come on strong, but Davies will get stronger as that fight goes on.